Hi, welcome to today's Piece of Peace. I really hope that you're all taking advantage of sitting quietly in the morning with a heart of gratitude and just writing out your top 10. Got that from a sweet girl, Olivia. We keep practicing that as she is too. Um, as I sat down to write today, it is my oldest son's birthday. And of course, my first gratitude was for blessing me with my firstborn son. And for his intervention in series of events that led to his birth. There were some miraculous things that took place when I didn't know I was pregnant yet, and God expressing to me that I indeed was, without ever had finding out from the doctor, and a series of events that sort of unfolded to that realization. And then just as there was a point in my walk. I was a new Christian. It was just months before Sam was conceived that I had given my life to Christ, and I remember the Lord as I was pregnant for 9 months, and it came close to when he was going to be born. It was just like I wanted to go, and I just thought, God, of all the things that has happened in my past, I really want you to wash me clean so that this child can be born, not through a sin-stained mom, but one who's redeemed and has accepted you and lives for you. And there was a incredibly profound experience I had as I was seeking God in those times where a gentleman had come up to my car, drove up behind my car as I was coming out of a church and just getting prayer and repenting of my sins and wanting to be so new for this new baby. And a gentleman came up to my car with incredible, knocked on my window and just started to talk to me. I don't know where he even came from, but said, "You're going to have a son, and you need to name him Samuel. That is his name." And directed me to some scriptures to read, and I was just taken back and weeping because I'd never had an experience like that before. I don't even know where this man came from, or if he had even seen me, or it was just miraculous. And so I knew I was having a boy, and so my gratitude all this morning was really around my son, bringing him home from another state and being able to live here now, allowing me to see him weekly, for blessing him with a companion, a beautiful dolly that he gets to hang out with now, for helping him to find work and just a place to live, and for his peaceful and tender spirit and his presence. My gratitude really was wrapped around just this great, profound experience I got to have so long ago with having my first child. So in that heart of gratitude brought me into my devotion, which we're reading out of Our Daily Bread. And Patricia Rabin is the author of this particular devotion, which she's entitled Hope Blossoms. My hope blossomed. I had friends all around who were having babies at the time. And when the Lord finally told me I was expecting and gave me this beautiful son, it was the biggest gift I could have ever received in my whole life. So exciting, and my hope blossomed, where I had lost a baby before him, and I was weary, and it was a dry and weary land, and there was just a lot of moving and hard things that we were going through, and then to offer this beautiful hope of a child, it was huge. So I take you to, or actually, Patricia takes us to Isaiah 35. We're going to read just verses 1 through 4. And it says, the desert and the parched land will be glad. The wilderness will rejoice and blossom. Like the crocus, it will burst into bloom. It will rejoice greatly and shout for joy. The glory of Lebanon will be given to it, and the splendor of Carmel and Sharon. The splendor of Carmel and Sharon. They will see the glory of the Lord, the splendor of our God. Strengthen and feeble hands. Strengthen the feeble hands. Steady the knees that give way. Say to those with fearful hearts, be strong, do not fear. Your God will come, and he will come with vengeance, with divine retribution. He will come and save you. I'm not sure what your circumstances are right now. I know our world is very tumultuous and very uncertain, and there can be a lot of fear. Maybe you're dealing with tons of friends who are having babies and you don't have one. That was sort of my case at the time. And maybe it's something else, your health. I'm not sure, but there can be very fearful times. But I want to read the devotion that Patricia just put out. In the city of Philadelphia, when weedy vacant lots were cleaned up and brightened with beautiful flowers and trees, nearby residents also brightened in overall mental health. This proved especially true for those who struggled economically. There is a growing body of evidence that green space can have an impact on mental health. I experience that daily as I'm in creation, that it takes away. It does bring a peace, a centered peace, in knowing that God created all of this. So she says, and I'm going to repeat that again because it's from a doctor who quoted this. There's a growing body of evidence that green space can have an impact on mental health, said Dr. Eugenia South. And that's particularly important for people living in poorer neighborhoods. South, a faculty member of the University of Pennsylvania's Perelman School of Medicine, is co-author of a study on the subject. The downtrodden people of Israel and Judah found fresh hope in the prophet Isaiah's vision of their beautiful restoration by God. Amid all the doom and judgment Isaiah foretold, this bright promise took root. The desert and the parched land will be glad. The wilderness will rejoice and blossom. Like the crocus, it will burst into bloom. It will rejoice greatly and shout for joy. And I want you to take note of this. No matter our situation today, we too can rejoice in the beautiful ways our Heavenly Father restores us with fresh hope, including through His creation. As we look out, we can have fresh hope. As we see His creation, it can bring us hope. When we feel down, reflecting on His glory and splendor will boost us. Strengthen the feeble hands, steady the knees that give way. Isaiah encouraged that. Can a few flowers rekindle a hope? A prophet says yes. So does our hope-giving God. Patricia's charge was this. When you feel hopeless, how do you usually respond? How could spending time outdoors in God's creation transform your despair to renewed hope in God? Dear God, thank you for the splendor of your creation, pointing me to your glory and reviving my hope in you. That brings us to Jesus Calling, Sarah Young's book. You can download that app. You can order it online. And here she writes from the perspective of God speaking. I am yours for all eternity. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the one who is and was and is to come. More than your mind can absorb without going into shock. Even the body you inhabit is changing relentlessly in spite of modern science's attempt to prolong youth or life indefinitely. I, however, am the same yesterday, today, and forever. Because I never change, your relationship with me provides a rock-solid foundation for your life. I will never leave your side. When you move on from this life to the next, my presence beside you will shine brighter with each step. You have nothing to fear because I am with you for all time and through all eternity. And no matter what our circumstance or what we're hoping for, we can find His beauty all around us. And He speaks to us, sometimes through white-haired, interesting angels. But finding gratitude is a big piece of bringing the peace to us. And may that be your piece of peace today. God bless you.